afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another NRL video. My name is Cody, and today I'm here to bring you my round 6 NRL tips of 2024. Before we get into the video, just go through over last week's tips. So last week I managed to get 4 out of 8 tips correct. I managed to get the Storm correct, Knights, Eagles, and Raiders, and the Cowboys. So they're the 4 games I got correct. But overall, not too bad last week, other than, we'll get to my team very soon. But other than that, good round of footy last week. So without further ado, we'll get into the video. But before we do that, I just want to say I have reached finally 1,400 subscribers on this YouTube channel. I just want to say thank you all so much for it. I appreciate every kind of support. And you guys subscribing to the channel really helps it out. Now let's get to 1,500 subscribers. Let's hope we can get there very soon. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into our round 6 NRL tips. And our first game that is kicking off round 6, on Thursday night up at McDonald Jones Stadium. It is the Newcastle Knights taking on the Sydney Roosters. Now last week the Knights finished off with a huge win in very wet and torrential conditions, winning 34 points to 10 against the Dragons last Friday. And as for the Roosters, they managed to catch up to score 26 points, just to fall short to the Dogs, losing 30 points to 26 at a call last week. The Roosters trailing 26-0 against the Roosters at halftime, trailing the Bulldogs, at halftime 26-0 before managing to catch up to get 30-26. However, though, Roosters will be without 3 players at least for this game. James Tedesco and Sam Walker are both out due to HIA suffered in last week's loss against the Dogs. And as for Dominic Young, he was the first NRL player of 2024 to be sent off, and it's confirmed he will miss 2 games, so he will miss this week and next week's game as well. So a couple of huge losses there for the Roosters, but seems like what will happen is Manu will go to fullback. I believe also Suaalii could go to fullback. I think Junior Pargo will go onto the wing, and Sandon Smith, if he's fit, he'll go in the halves. If not, it will be Connor Watson in the halves along with Luke Keary. But both teams are currently 2 wins and 3 losses. Roosters in 10th and the Knights in 12th at the moment. At the moment for bet odds, Knights are the favourites at $1.63 and the Roosters at $2.27. So not too bad for the first one. In the past 10 games between these two, Roosters have had the wood over the Knights. Roosters have won 8 of the past 10, which includes winning 4 of the past 5 counters. Last time the Knights won against the Roosters was back in 2022, when they beat them 20 points to 6 in round 1 at the SCG. And also the Knights have also lost 3 of the past 4 games against the Roosters at McDonald Jones Stadium. The last victory at their home ground coming in 2019 against the Roosters, when the Knights won 38 points to 12. So Roosters have got a good record at McDonald Jones Stadium in most recent times as well, winning at least 5 of their past 6 games there as well. So for this game, who do I have winning for this one? Although it's going to be a tough one to say. I mean, Knights do very well when they're at home, but wasn't convincing against the Dragons. But Roosters have also got 3 top-tier players out as well. Oh, this one is tough. Might cop it this one, but I'm going to go back the Knights this one. I reckon Knights will just pull it off. We'll go to Knights to win by 4. Scoreline will go 18-14, and for our first try scorer, we'll go Kalen Ponga. So Knights to win by 4. Now we move on to our first of 2 Friday night games. The first one kicking off at 6 p.m. down there at Melbourne at Amy Park. We have the Melbourne Storm taking on the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Last week, both teams are coming off very close wins. Bulldogs coming off not a very convincing win against the Roosters, but they still won Bulldogs led 26-0 at halftime before the Roosters managed to catch back up, but as I said previously, Roosters fell short and Bulldogs just held on to win 30 points to 26. However, they've got a few players out due to injury or HIA, notably Blake Taff as well, and a few other players as well. So, fortunately, they're going to be out with a few troops this week as well. And as for Melbourne winning against the Broncos in a high-scoring, no defensive game at Amy Park last week, just beating the Broncos 34-32 with no Reynolds in the second half of that one. Credit to Broncos, but geez, Melbourne had so many guts out there and they managed to hold on. Now, obviously, both teams coming off with a win last week, but one of them are looking forward to getting their next win of the season. Melbourne currently sit in third, and as for the Dogs, they currently sit in 13th, who got their second win last week. Now, at the moment, Storm are favourites at $1.11, and as for the Dogs, at a nice $6.70. And don't forget, the head-to-head between these two is quite even, but Storm have got 23 wins, Bulldogs have got 22. So, if you're going for the Dogs this week, it might be a good chance to put some money on the Dogs here. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, Melbourne have won 7 of the past 10, which includes winning 7 of the last 8 fixtures. However, the Dogs finally broke that 7-game losing streak last year by beating the Storm 26-12, also at Amy Park as well. And a fun fact, since 2014, the Dogs have won 4 of the last 6 games at Amy Park. The only 2 they've lost against the Storm there recently was 2019, where Bulldogs lost 18-16, and then the other one, which was in 2022, where Melbourne thrashed them 44-0. So Dogs have had a good record at Amy Park in the last 10 years or so. So as of that, who do I see winning this one? Now, although Dogs came with an impressive win over the Roosters, but letting the Roosters come back, it won't be enough, especially they got a few troops out this week for the Dogs. So for this one, I will lean to the Storm. I think the Storm will win this one very handily. I will go Storm the win by 8. Scoreline will go 18-10. And for a first try scorer, I love Eddie Katoa scoring 2 tries last week. I'll go Eddie Katoa again, assuming that he will be playing this week. So I'll go Eddie Katoa for first try. Storm to win by 8. Now we move on to the main event of the 2 Friday night games. The second game kicking off at 8 p.m. No longer 7 p.m. Queensland time, because as of Sunday this past week, daylight savings are officially over till the grand final. So we're back to standard time. So New South Wales went back an hour, so we are now the same time as Queensland, same as Victoria and Tasmania as well if you're from there. However, so we go to Suncorp for the third incarnation of the Battle of Brisbane, or Battle of Brisbane versus Redcliffe, whatever you want to call it. Of course, I'm talking about the newest Brisbane rivalry, the Broncos and the Dolphins. Now, shockingly, Broncos managed to lose only by 2 points against the Storm last week, continuing their drought in Melbourne since 2016, when they haven't won a game since 2016 in Melbourne. Broncos losing in a high-scoring, no Reynolds in the second half, 34-32. Give credit to Broncos, but geez, what an amazing performance by the Broncos. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to beat the Storm. Broncos did lead by 8 points at 1 point, but Brisbane just went down. And as for the Dolphins, they were too good for the Tigers at Suncorp on the weekend. So, but Dolphins winning 26-16 over the West Tigers. Now, at the moment, the current live odds for this game, they have the Broncos as the favourites at $1.30, and the Dolphins at $3.57. Broncos are in 11th place, and it's also Dolphins in first. This is also a Broncos home game at Suncorp, not a Dolphins. So Broncos get the first home game between the two, and then Dolphins will get the second home game against the Broncos I believe it's in the second last, in round 26 of this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's round 26. This will be the third ever game between these two. Broncos winning both occasions, 18-12 in round 4 last year, and then 24-16 at the Gabba for the second encounter. So, been two close games by 6 and 8 points respectively, but this could turn the other way. So, although Broncos were good, I believe Walsh may be back this week, but they'll still have no Payne Haas and no Reynolds, as he has re-injured himself and he will be out for the next few weeks or so. I believe it's a hamstring strain or knee injury, something like that. But for my tip for this one's going to be a shocking one. I'm going to back the Dolphins. Now, Dolphins have been impressive for the last few weeks, only suffering the one loss at the moment, and with 3 wins under their belt. And as for Broncos, obviously they've had a tough draw to start with, but give credit where credit's due. What Bennett's doing an amazing job in his last season with the Dolphins. I will back the Dolphins this one by 4 points only. I reckon it's going to be a good quality game. Regardless who wins, I'll go 28-24, and the hammer Tapiri Fido to score the first try. Up the Fins up by 4. Now we move on to first of our 3 Super Saturday games. First one kicking off at 3 p.m. over there in New Zealand. 3 p.m. here in New South Wales on the eastern seaboard. 5 p.m. over there to our cousin city southeast. I'm talking about the New Zealand Warriors taking on the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, kicking off at 5 p.m. their time over there. Manly pulling an upset win over the Panthers, 32-18. I did not expect Manly to be like that. I mean, Cherry Evans is the most capped player I think he's the most capped player now all time for Manly. They were too good against Penrith, 32-18. Good on Manly. They've been, despite their loss in their last game against the Dragons, though, they still looked very good against the Panthers. Good on them for beating the Panthers. And as for Warriors, oh boy. They smashed my boys 34-4 for their first win at a core stadium against us since 2011, I think. But, geez, they had a good win over us, but I'll get to that when we get to my boys in next few games. But, geez, Warriors put on a dominating display, showing that they are not out of this not out of this season yet. Now, at the moment, Warriors sitting 6th, Manly sitting 7th. Warriors are the favourites at $1.49 and Manly at $2.63. In the past 10 games between these two, it has been 5 games apiece. However, Manly have won 3 of the last 4 games between the Warriors and Manly. However, Warriors have won the last outing against Manly, winning 29-22 at what was known as Daniel Anderson Stadium at Mount Smart, or Go Media Stadium, whatever you want to call it. However, Manly have not beaten the Warriors at Mount Smart since 2017. Manly winning that one in 2017, winning 22 points to 21. So Manly might have the chance this week to beat them, but at the moment, who knows? I mean, this game is really close to the call. I don't know who can win this one, but for this game, this one's really tough to call, but it's in New Zealand. I've got to back Warriors here for what they did to the Rabbitohs last week. They were outstanding. And I know, Manly dethroning the three-peat premiers like that and finally getting their first win over them in so long. But I will back the Warriors. I'll go by 2, but here's the catch. A 2-point field goal, 18-16 golden point, a 2-point field goal kicked from Sean Johnson. Yep, you got that correct. Warriors by 2. And for our first try scorer, let's go Roger Tuivasa-Sheck as well. He scored in his 200th NRL game last week as well. So Roger Tuivasa-Sheck to score the first try of the match. Go to Warriors. Now we move on to our second of 2 Saturday games. Next one kicking off at 5:30 p.m. down at Parramatta at CommBank Stadium. We have the Parramatta Eels taking on the North Queensland Cowboys. Now, Cowboys managed to beat the Titans after they lost convincingly to the Broncos the week before. Cowboys beating the Titans 35-22, letting them score a few tries after Chad Townsend was sin bin for 10 minutes. And now, Cowboys have been very, very impressive this year as well. They're showing the comp why they belong in the top 8, especially the top 4, and why they are a contender for the premiership this year. As for Para, they went down the GIO against Raiders, losing 41 points to 8. That was shocking from the Eels. Glad I didn't tip the Eels, thankfully. And now, at the moment, Eels are in 14th from that huge loss. Cowboys are in 2nd. The odds at the moment have the Cowboys as the favourites at $1.60. Eels are $2.36. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, it has been 5 games apiece as well. However, Eels have had a good success over the Cowboys recently. Since 2020, Eels have won 4 of the last 6 games against the Cowboys, which includes winning that controversial finals game against the Cowboys, winning 24-20 to advance to the grand final of 2022. Eels have also won their 2 games against the Cowboys at CommBank Stadium. First one in 2019, and then the other one last year. Both 16-24 in last year's game and 17-10. 42 points to 4. In 2020. So, and I think the Cowboys have not won at CommBank yet. I'm pretty sure they haven't. So this might be the opportunity for the Cowboys to finally win it. But however, in the last 2 games, the winning team, in the last 3 games, the winning team has scored 24 points. In the finals game, in the first clash between these two last year, Para have scored 24 points, and then in the second game between the two last year, Cowboys scored 24 points when it was at Queensland Country Bank. So if you're a betting man, make sure you get 24 points on that bet. So who do I have winning this game? Well, Para was shocking. Cowboys were excellent last week. Obviously, I'm going to go Cowboys for this one. Now, obviously, it's tough to beat Para at CommBank, and especially they don't have Mitchell Moses at the moment. He's still at least another 5 weeks or so away till he's back from injury. So I will go Cowboys to win by 16. Yes. Cowboys 13 plus. I know that will be a shocking one to everyone, but I reckon Cowboys can go 13 plus here. We'll go 30 points to 14, and for our first try scorer, we'll go Scotty Drinkwater. Cowboys to win 13 plus. Now we move on to the last and final game of Super Saturday, kicking off at 7:35 p.m. at Accor Stadium in our final home game for till round 9. I'm talking about my boys, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Oh boy, taking place against the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. Now, last week the Sharks had the bye, so they're coming off their first bye of the season. Last time the Sharks played was against the Canberra Raiders at points bet. The Sharks winning 36-22. And as for my boys, the Rabbitohs, more shit happens at the club. Coach has got to go. We lost 34 points to 4 against the Warriors, who finally got a win over us for the first time in like 9 games or so, thrashing us 34 points to 4 last Saturday afternoon. Obviously, at the moment, my boys sit in last place with 1 win, 4 losses in 17th. And as for the Sharks, they currently sit in 4th place after coming off their first bye of the year. What can I say about the Rabbitohs? Obviously, I don't want to bring it up, but I keep defending this great club, but I have no clue what the fuck is going on behind the scenes. I mean, Jason Demetrio, if it's already going to happen. If we lose this game, Jason is got to go. I'm sick I'm sick of him saying the same thing every fucking week when he's in that fucking goddamn press conference. I want him gone. Even if we do somehow win our next few games also. But we've got a tough draw. I mean, we've got the Sharks this week. We've got our first bye next week. Round 8, we're in Melbourne against Melbourne. And then round 9, we're back out of the core against Penrith. Don't tell me. That is a very tough draw. And I doubt we're going to win any of them 3 games there. Just gave away my spoil, but whatever. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about my tip, of course. So, at the moment, in the odds, Rabbitohs $2.82 outsiders. And as for the Sharks, they are $1.43. Not bad for the Sharks. Now, obviously, the talking point is Latrell Mitchell was... he's obviously not going to be playing for the next 3 games now due to his elbow onto Sean Johnson, which I should point out was a late call as well. These refs got to stop pointing late calls there. Now, I'm glad in the way that Latrell is not playing because I'm sick of him playing at fullback. He's just been nothing but, I don't want to say, but he's been fucking lazy at fullback. I want him in the sense, but obviously the club's not going to do that. So, what I think will happen this week is one of our New South Wales Cup players in the name of Jai Gray will get the honour to debut for the NRL for the first time. For the first time this year. And I reckon he will play fullback or he will play in the halves alongside... Oh, wait, no, he can't play in the halves if Cody Walker's there. I was going to say, if Jack Whiten was going to go to fullback, and yeah, that wouldn't work out, but I think Whiten will stay in the centres, and Jai Gray will go to fullback. That's what I think is happening for this one. So if that's the case, good on. He's been an outstanding player in New South Wales Cup. In the 2 games I've seen him, both at Allianz and against the Warriors last week, he was outstanding. So I hope that happens. If not, well, it's going to be a shame that the club doesn't let Jai Gray play this game. Anyways, in the past 10 games between the Rabbitohs and Sharks, somehow we have won 6 of the past 10 games. With us winning 3 of the last 5. However, Sharks have won the last outing against the Rabbitohs all the way in Perth, which was a doubleheader alongside the Knights Dolphins, winning 26-16. However, the Rabbitohs have had the wood over the Sharks at a core stadium. So, based on history, we have played 9 games versus the Sharks at a core stadium, or ANZ or Telstra, whatever you want to call it. Don't really care. The Sharks have not beaten the Rabbitohs since 2008 at a core stadium. So Rabbitohs have won 7 of 7, won their last 7 games at a core versus the Sharks. I mean, that's a unique stat, but I have no confidence we're going to win this week. So Sharks have not won since 2008 versus us at a core stadium. Rabbitohs have won their last 7 at a core versus the Sharks. Unique stat, but I don't think that's going to happen. But as for my tip, obviously, I will back my boys, obviously. I'll go us to win by 2. I reckon we'll go 2018, but I know we're not going to win. I think the Sharks will win, but I will back my boys to win. I will back my boys every week, no matter what. No matter how we're doing shit, good, or in between. I've got to support my club, no matter. If we manage to somehow win, I'll be happy and reprieve. But should we lose, Jason Demetrio will get the sack after this game. Anyways, us to win for a try scorer, first try scorer. It's going to be tough, really. I'm going to go Keon. I think he's pretty much been the best player for the Rabbitohs so far this year, alongside Cameron Murray. So I'll go Keon for the first try scorer. Let's go, Rabbits. Now we move on to Sunday ticket, our final 2 games of round 6 of the 2024 season. The first game kicking off at 4 p.m. all the way at Campbelltown Sports Stadium. We have the West Tigers taking on the St George Illawarra Dragons. Now, last week, both teams are coming off losses. Dragons getting thumped against the Knights, losing 34-10 at McDonald Jones Stadium. As for the Tigers, They lost to the Dolphins at Suncorp last week, losing 26-16. Now, at the moment, the live odds have got the Tigers as favourites at $1.81 and the Dragons at $2.04, so that is very close. The Tigers in 9th place at the moment and the Dragons in 15th. So this game could go either way, but Jesus Christ. Both teams. I mean, Tigers have been the better team, obviously, but never underestimate the Dragons. Alright, so in the past 10 games between these two, the Tigers have won 6 of the last 10. However, Dragons have won 3 of the last 4 games. With the last time these two clashed, which was at Wynn Stadium, Dragons just managed to win 18-14, and the Tigers last beat the Dragons at Magic Round last year, winning 18-16. And here is a unique stat here. Now, this will be the first time the Dragons have played at Campbelltown against the Tigers since 2015. So it's been 9 long years since the Dragons have ever played at Campbelltown versus the Tigers. There's only been 3 games between the two at Campbelltown as well, with Dragons winning in 2000 and 2002, 36-24 and 42-8 respectively. And the most recent clash, which was 2015, the Tigers winning that one 22-4. Obviously, Tigers don't have a good win record at Campbelltown as we speak. Yeah, so funny enough, since 2020, the Tigers have lost their last 8 games at Campbelltown. I'm not even kidding. They have lost against the Roosters, the Titans, the Warriors, Manly twice, Newcastle, Melbourne and Canberra once. The last time the Tigers won at Campbelltown in any capacity was back in round 6 in 2020, where the Tigers beat the Cowboys 36-20. So, Tigers don't have an outstanding record at Campbelltown, but holy shit, they've lost their last 8 games at Campbelltown. That is not good. But, can they break it this weekend though? So, for this game, I will back the Tigers to win this one. I know I backed them last week and obviously didn't go well, but I'm confident they will get the job here this time. Dragons are a sniff chance as well. However, I will go to Tigers to win this one. Tigers to win by 4. 16-12 as a scoreline. And for a first try scorer, we'll go Jermaine Buller for the Tigers fullback. So Tigers to win by 4. And now we move on to our final game of the round, kicking off at 6 p.m. at GIO Stadium in Canberra. It is the Green Machine, the Canberra Raiders, taking on the only team without a win, the Gold Coast losers, the Gold Coast Titans. Now, Titans coming off their 4th consecutive loss, losing to the Cowboys 35-22 up there in Townsville. And as for the Raiders, my God, they put a scoreline against the Eels, winning 41 points to 8. Good on the Raiders last week, beating the Eels like that. Eels currently sit in 5th place, and Titans, they are in second last in 16th. Only 5 points differential between them and my team, so hopefully we can get off the bottom this week. The odds at the moment have the Raiders at $1.30 and the Titans at $3.57. So not bad if you want the Titans to win. In the past 10 games between these two, Raiders have had the wood over the Gold Coast. They have won 8 of the past 10 counters, which includes winning 8 of the past 9 games and winning the last 3. However, Titans last won in Canberra in 2021, beating the Raiders 44-6. And that was the last time the Titans won at GIO. So Titans have lost at least the last 3 out of 4 games in Canberra. So interesting, and obviously this game will not be pretty. I will go to Raiders to win this one 13 plus by 18. Scoreline will go 24-6. For a first try scorer, we'll go Xavier Savage to score the first try. And the bye for this round is the Panthers after they lost to the Sea Eagles 32-18. Shocking loss for the Panthers, that's for sure. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude my tipping video of round 6, 2024. Make sure you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Now, we're on the road to 1,500 subscribers, and let's hope we can get there by the end of May. Now, obviously, and there will also be a vlog coming out on Saturday as well. Although I'm not very happy with our team at the moment, the Rabbitohs, I'll still go to the games and I will still do a vlog regardless if we win or lose. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video, and thank you for getting me to 1,400 subscribers. Without your constant support, I will not be here where I am right now. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all in the next one. Take care.